My left video just went viral.
I'ma strike back and take your whole empire. Spontaneous combustion. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Hello and welcome to the very first edition of the Tech Disruptors podcast for 2025. And we have a full house going on in here today. We have my regular co-host,
Jason.
We have our semi-regular co-host,
Devin.
And back by popular demand, OG Tech Disruptors host, Roddy. How's it going, Roddy?
Hey guys, glad to be back.
All right, now this is our first show. What do you guys think of the new intro? Because that's a new intro for 2025. I know we used it on the last episode of the Best of show. Pretty good, right? It's got a good, nice little rhythm to it. Kicks it in. Devin,
he's a hell of an artist. He's a hell of an artist.
Yeah. Norman Sand. Yeah.
I mean, I really liked the one that we had previously too, but this one's solid. They're all good.
Listen, if I'm going to be honest with you, my favorite one of 2024, I think Jason will be able to attest to this, was Cotton Eye Joe. When we started with Cotton Eye Joe,
it
got copyrighted instantly, even though it said it had no copyright issues, but that's okay.
Well, me and Darren are working on a freestyle rap version for an intro, so that's going to drop soon, our first single.
I'm going to beatbox and Jason's going to sing, and we're just going to see what happens along the way.
You ever seen 8 Mile, Eminem?
Yeah.
It'll be nothing like that. It'll be nothing like that.
But anyway, so this week, I know it's been a minute since we have had our podcast here. So we had our final end of the year show, which again was pretty popular among our followers there. We had a lot of new subscribers from our final show, which is amazing to see. This will be the year that we clock it, we get across the line. But right now, in fact, just a couple of days ago, we had the biggest consumer electronics show of the entire world take place. It was usually in Las Vegas, as it has been the last few years, and that was the Consumer Electronics Show. Now, every year we've done one of these shows, these podcasts, we always have a crazy first episode back because it's post-CES. And post-CES is usually littered with the crazy shit of CES, the weird, the wonderful stuff, and then the awesome stuff that we can't wait to come out. And we've kind of compiled, I guess, a friendly list of both today. So none of us, I believe, have ever been to CES. Is that right? Devin, Roddy? No. Jason and I have talked about it.
That's the goal, yeah.
Until next year, right? That's right. Yeah.
There's always next year. I'm a Browns fan, so we always say
that. Well, I mean, the way I see it, if the podcast just keeps going as good as it is, they'll just ask us to do a podcast from there. And then the end of, that would be amazing.
A lot of these YouTubers like MKBHD, I think, maybe not this year, would give out awards to whatever at the CES, kind of like One Cut Reviews did.
Yeah.
Tech Disruptors could do that. But I got a feeling our awards would be totally off the wall and really weird.
It's fine.
And late, but always great. How's it going, Jermaine?
There we go. I didn't know it was in like 3 minutes.
I know. Sorry. I just dropped a little surprise bomb there. Okay. So we were just talking about CES. And so I know for One Cut Reviews, we've never actually been. But we do have someone who gives out awards every year at CES, highlighting our choices of best products. But today's show is not necessarily about the best products. It's about the weird, the wonderful, and the awesome. And I think the best way to start with this, and I'm going to go, I'll let you guys choose here. So, Jermaine, you're our newest incomer to the Tech Disruptors podcast. Do you want to start with the weird? Or do you want to start with the wonderful of CES?
So if I knew it was about CES, I would have told you I have no clue.
Oh, okay, and that's fine. Okay, I'll pass it over to Roddy. Roddy, the weird or the wonderful?
I think we start with the weird.
Of course. Why would we not?
All right. So I want to talk about probably the weirdest thing that I could possibly have think.
I'm kind of worried because I saw some of this weird stuff, and I got a feeling you're going to pick out the cream of the crop.
I'm going right here. So I want to pull up this one first. I want to talk about
yep. I had this on my list too.
So I was like, okay, so when I watch stuff on CES, I watch these videos, I look at these articles, and I think to myself, there's got to be a market for this somewhere. So to give you an idea, this is the Kirin electric salt spoon. Now, the premise of the electric salt spoon is pretty simple, right? So people that have, health issues related to the consumption of too much salt, like blood pressure, for example, a lot of the time when you take salt away from food, it doesn't quite taste the same. So along comes this company, and they've created a spoon that when you eat with this spoon, it makes your food taste salty. Yes, I'm going to say that again. It makes your food taste salty.
And from what I understand, it uses it says shocks, but it sends like electro whatever to your tongue. And I'm guessing it activates that part of the tongue, the salt.
Yeah. So as you guys
or whatever.
So you guys probably know, like the different taste buds are located on different parts of the tongue, and I think this uses a very light, very low electronic stimulus to kind of activate those taste buds. Now, I have 1,000,001 questions about this. Right? Like, first of all, what happens if? Are there levels? Like, what if I want my shit to be super salty? Like, what if that's what I want? Does that work? Like,
well, then would be shocking your tongue. Would you electrocute your tongue?
Yeah, it's just gonna electrocute you more.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's gonna give me a bigger thing.
Shocking food.
Well, I mean, I tend to eat a lot of salty foods. Being Italian, there's a lot of salt in a lot of foods here, right? So and Polish too is also a bit of that. But I want to know, first of all, is there levels? Like, can I make this extra salty if I want to? And is there like a step down? Like, is there like a level 4, level 3, level 2, level 1? Because I think for some people, like if it's just a one and done kind of deal, then you kind of will be going, well, I don't want my food to always be salty. Then why am I using it, right?
Mr. Who's the Boss did a video, and it was something similar to this too. There was another spoon that made things supposed to taste better overall, and he didn't see. It was like it didn't do anything. Like it was junk. It was junk. And this is different. This is just for salt. But my question is to everyone here. So we know what it is. We know what it does. We don't know about levels. Would you buy this product?
Oh,
let's say if it was around $50 or less.
So I'm white.
What was that?
I'll let you jump in.
Don't all jump at once.
Yeah, I was gonna say, me personally, at least me, I'm not interested in something like this. If I had a condition where I need to eat less salt, if I had a medical reasoning behind something like this, I would much prefer just suck it up and do the hard thing and not eat more salt.
Yeah, you would think that's the obvious choice here, right?
Well, because salt's an addiction. It's kind of like nicotine. To quit smoking, people chew, but you're still, or they vape. It's still nicotine in your system. It's still, you might as well just cut it out and move on.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get why some people might want this, but man, it just, this feels like instead of spending the money on this kind of like innovation of a product, maybe we should spend money on like, counseling for people that are not
have a salt addiction.
But what if you eat something that's super sweet and you want to just mess with it and make it taste more? See, I don't know. I would not buy this product. It's not for me.
Okay, so here, let me explain. I'll come over to Roddy. I know Roddy's got some thoughts on this, but I'll come back in a second. But here is my thought. So you know how like a lot of people like to balance sweet and salty. Like I'll give you like peanut butter and Nutella, for example. Like if you were to mix those two together, it creates like an amazing Reese's Pieces kind of scenario. Maybe this is the solution to people, like Jason said, that maybe want to have a little bit of salty with the sweet, but not have to add the extra salt to their food.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Right? So like I was just reading, like it's crazy to me that this is battery powered. Like, I don't want to put anything in my mouth that potentially is electric and water and liquid. Like, it seems like a bad idea.
When you put it in your
What
mouth,
could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Electricity in your mouth. What could go wrong?
Well, surprise tech disruptors. Darren got us each what? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's a gift. That's going to be a gift this year. So, Roddy, is this something that you would invest your hard-earned money in?
So I don't like a ton of salt either. But I mean, I guess it's a cool thought to think about health in the sense of reinventing the spoon, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see where it could have other benefits. Like the salt one doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I could see where, maybe there's a spoon that causes you to eat less food or something like that. That might be kind of cool, that makes you feel full sooner, or I don't know. Anyway, I think the salt thing is what's so weird to me. And then, I agree. Like, what could go wrong? Something that shocks you. Oh, let me stick that in my mouth. That sounds terrible, actually.
If that was taken out of context, you'd be like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, well, I figured that was coming
Clip
too.
that
But
part.
yeah.
Just clip the small part. Just clip it.
Just clip it. Yeah, we'll clip that part out. That'll be edited out.
That'll be our
later on.
short for the week.
That's the title of the video right there.
Yeah,
There you go.
So the magic salt spoon, unfortunately, is a very real thing in the world of CES. But you wanted to start with the weird, so let's jump over now to the wonderful. I'm going to pick some stuff from Jason's list because he had some really crackers on here. Jason, do you want to give us a suggestion of which one you think is a wonderful?
I don't know if Devin's still there. His camera cut up. I don't know if he's still.
Yeah, I
you're
literally
fine.
did it again. I did this on our other on the last show, and I did it again. My phone died, so I got to plug it in.
I just saw you turn the lights off. I just
After we were talking about, so we talked about computers a lot.
Yes.
I know AMD, Steam Deck, Legion Go, all these portable game units use the Ryzen Z1 Extreme.
Yes.
Well, AMD introduced the Ryzen Z2 this time around, and supposedly had confirmed a Steam Deck update, but I think that's been squashed. I don't think it's actually going to be a Steam Deck 2 at this point yet.
Yeah.
But this is something I thought was kind of interesting because we're seeing a resurgence of portable gaming, but PC portable gaming, which is crazy to me. Who would have thought you would carry a PC in your pocket? Well, maybe not in your pocket, but a portable machine that can play almost AAA titles at medium to high. I mean, it's crazy. AMD's leading the charge on these GPUs and APUs. So
one of the things that surprised me, I saw this too, and you're right. It is so bizarre that PC gaming handhelds are a thing now. Because I don't know if you remember, what was Google's version? Stadia? Remember that was meant to be the next big thing. So I guess they're realizing that they've got the raw power to make it happen. And if that combined with like battery efficiency, good, ergonomics and nice screen and all of this stuff. I mean, if they can do it for a smartphone, why is it so crazy that they could do it for a gaming handheld, right? Like it's insane to me.
It's a different architecture. I know that Apple and even Snapdragon are making PCs now, but I think this x86 architecture is more gamer friendly right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Devin might have more thoughts on this, but I think the Z2 is going to be. I don't think it's going to be a Steam Deck 2 by any means right now, but it's going to open up the world to I think that new Asus. I'm jumping the gun here, but that new Asus, like you see that huge portable game that.
I saw that. It was enormous.
The Acer one.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And that might run this chip. I don't know. I didn't see the details on it, but it just opened the floodgates. Steam Deck led the charge, and now everyone and their mom is making one of these. I mean, we should make one too, probably here soon.
Well, I know
Lenovo said that their new ones are going to be using the Z2.
Yeah, so Lenovo also released their Legion Go S, which is I love the description in this NGH article, the SUV of gaming handhelds. So that's not a description that I would want for a gaming handheld.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's big and beefy and comes with a lot of extra equipment like detachable controllers.
And you're trying to compensate for something.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So, but you're right. So, Devin, what this new chip, these PC gaming handhelds, is this where we're going? Is this it?
I mean, I think this is just an extension of the laptop. So I've actually been doing a bunch of different videos with my Ally, trying to replace different hardware with my Ally. Can it stream? Yeah. Can it edit a video? Can it do all these different things? And it is very, very capable of that stuff. It's just not ideal. I think this is just going to fit for a different type of people, right? The fact that you can have this instead of a laptop if you want, it works.
Well, I think it's also everyone plays PlayStation. Not everyone. A lot of people play Xbox, PlayStation, and they have a joystick, D-pad. I don't do that. I like keyboard and mouse. So these things are great. I have to go up to a keyboard to play games on them, but I think it's that they're trying to bridge the gap. So if you play Xbox, PlayStation, and you want to move over to PC gaming, this would be an easy way to do it because you're still using the gamepad. It's a little more complicated than that. I mean, settings and stuff, but
I think it does a lot. I think it tells a lot though, because we're seeing this kind of movement, right? Remember, like the PSP, that was like years ago when they did basically the same. Of course, less powerful, but they did the same. So it's funny to see how much ahead of time they were for a console that probably wasn't made at the right time. But I imagine if they did something similar today, that would be really cool.
Well,
and everyone's doing it. Xbox was working on ones. Sony, theirs isn't really a portable gaming system. It's more of an extension.
Yeah, the Sony one is weird.
Yeah, and it's super cheap right now too.
Yeah, the Portal. Yeah. But looking at the specs here, I mean, the Z2 chip, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, a 55.5 watt millihour battery. Holy crap, man! Like
that's
a terabyte.
More than I get on my PlayStation.
Well, that's exactly me too.
Here's
right?
the problem though with Steam Deck, 1 terabyte fills pretty damn quick. Because I open mine up and put 2 terabyte in mine, and I have like 5 games and it's full. But I mean, still, it's not even the 32 gigs of RAM. It's it's faster too. It's like 6,600 megahertz or something. It's crazy. 7,000. I mean, it's amazing how fast these things are going.
So. And I can't speak for the other handhelds, but I kind of assume that they're similar. At least the Ally has adjustable RAM, so it has 16 gigabytes of RAM, but it is that split between RAM for the system and video RAM for the graphics card.
Yeah.
So actually having the 32 gigabytes of RAM, if it's the adjustable, is actually huge, so that your system can still do things as a normal Windows PC and play games like really, really well too.
Yeah, and before we move on, those of you who have Steam Decks, and I don't know about the other ones, I have the Steam Deck, the original one. There are actually people out there where you can send them their unit, and for like $100, they'll tear it apart and upgrade the 16 to 32 gig for you, and resolder it and send it back to you. They'll upgrade this. Yeah, it's that's the thing. These things have been out forever. You're going to see a modding community. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
So can I jump in real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Throw a different perspective. So my nephews, 9 and 12, almost 13, they just recently both got Steam Decks, and they've got gaming systems. They've got a PC. They play PC. My brother does that too. iPhones, iPads, the whole 9 yards. And this is like their go-to thing. And I'll tell you why, is because this is just they just use it for gaming, and they can just load it with nothing but games, and they just enjoy playing on this type of platform. And so I've never been a huge like phone game person. I don't have a PlayStation at my house or anything like that. I also got a Steam Deck, and that's what I like about it as well, is like it's that kind of like portable thing that I can keep in a bag or keep around my office or whatever. And if I just want to blow off some steam, or just no pun intended, but if I want to like, just detach for like 5 minutes or whatever, I can jump in there. It's not eating up any space on my phone or on a laptop or tablet or whatever. And I think that is more kind of where this mobile gaming platform is coming, because I've heard so many people talk about getting a Steam Deck or getting something similar, and saying, I've never been a big gamer, but this has changed my mind. And I can attest to that too. So I think it is. I think this is starting to make this is becoming like a more little solid platform in tech, where it is stuff that we've got to pay a little bit more attention to, because I think a lot of your mobile phone guys out there are probably trying to steal some of this, revenue, obviously, and it's a little bit harder when you've got things like this that are dedicated that you can hook up to a bigger screen or things like that. And I think that's where the detachable stuff comes from too. It's like, yes, it's portable, but you can hook it up to a monitor, or you can hook it up to your TV or whatever, and it becomes that kind of all-in-one. Take it wherever you want to, use it wherever you want to. That's why we're seeing these big specs.
I'm not a big gamer, but is it crazy that I like the white? I think that's is it common? Because I feel like I've never seen one in white.
Everything but the Steam Deck, it comes in white. It seems like.
Oh, really?
The Ally does, the Legion. I mean, there's black versions, but the Steam the difference is like with Devin, he uses the Ally, which has Windows, so it's multitask. You can use it for gaming and everything else. Steam Deck's more aimed at gaming because it uses Steam OS, which is a different thing. So for me, I like what Roddy said. It's like, hey, I got a personal computer at home. I use my editing and browsing, but Steam Deck, Ally, that is my gaming machine.
See, here is my question: where does it end? So let's put all this shit in one bag: a phone, a gaming console, a tablet, a laptop. And I know this is what I think Devin's touching on with his videos, is that is there that one old device that's portable and can do these things? And there's just not. Right? It's not out there. I mean, arguably, maybe you could say a foldable, but that only gets you half the way there most of the time, right? Because there's always a compromise on battery.
So what you're saying is Steam should make a phone, the Steam OS phone.
You know what? Razer tried. Remember, Razer tried.
That was Android, and it was those were badass phones too. They were.
They had amazing speakers. They was decent for gaming, but unfortunately, Razer killed it off after the second generation, and they went.
That's before they bought NextBit Robin and killed them off too.
Yeah, which they shouldn't have, but we won't go into that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's flip over now to a weird choice on the list here. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, and I'm not sure what the application of this particular one is. Did you guys hear about if I can find it on my million tabs I have opened, the Swipe It? Did you guys hear about this?
The Swipe It?
No.
The Swipe It. Okay, let me pull it up. So the Swipe It is one of the most bizarre gadgets that I saw. Because it is, and I can't even explain. I can explain this.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know it's called Swipe It. Okay, I saw this. Yeah.
So the Swipe
toaster.
The toaster. Yeah. So this is a battery swapping iPhone gadget. So basically, what it is, it's a case that has an external battery to charge your iPhone. You put it in this toaster, and it quite literally swipes your old battery out and puts a new one in. Like an swiping, no swiping. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So this is what the case looks like.
Oh, see, I didn't know it was a case. See, I don't like that. That makes it too bulky.
Nah, that makes it bulky, and it just.
Okay, but let's just entertain the idea for a second, because it is a weird one. Let's just
shoot it down.
Let's not shit on it yet.
Okay, I'll wait.
So here is the external battery. So from what I understand, it's a very thin, almost like credit card size battery. I don't know what the capacity is off the top of my head, but you put it in the toaster, it literally pulls one battery out and slots another one in, and you're good to go. Full
Does it
charge.
sanitize too? I thought it sanitized too. Maybe I'm wrong.
I have no idea. I want to show you the video because this might give you a better indication of what.
Why so big?
Wow.
I'm going to chill the volume on this.
Jesus.
It literally sounds like a 1990s printer, and I appreciate that for that. But yeah, it takes the object out, puts a new battery in,
that's
and
not
guess
sanitizing
what?
anything. So I think like Jermaine said, we kind of shit on it. I think CES is made for this kind of quirky stuff.
Yes.
I would assume the final product may or may not be that big. But yeah, I don't like the idea of having an extra case. I don't know. That's that thick. It looks weird.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't get out of this is why do I need? It says it's like $500. Why do I need a device to do this by itself? Why can't you just?
Myself.
Yeah. Why can't you just give me the case for $100 and a couple of extra batteries?
It wouldn't be at CES if you did it by hand.
Yeah, exactly.
This is AI at its best.
Well,
that's what they should have done with the concept. Put it through the paper shredder.
Yeah, put the shredder. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. Yeah. So my question is, first of all, why do we need this? If iPhones were quick charging, we wouldn't have this fucking problem. You're welcome, Apple.
No. Also, they have the best battery life, so why do we need to change the batteries out?
Exactly. Why do we need to change the battery at all? But
because we all know if it's not everyday Apple, it ain't shit.
So. Yeah. Well, okay. So
true.
if we take this quite literally with a grain of salt, let's get that spoon. But for a second, if we take it with a grain of salt and we went, okay, so somebody that's on the go, they need to swap out a battery quickly. They got a whole day ahead of them. Maybe they got they're running their business off their phone, or maybe they're, I don't know, data mining or some shit like that. And you need a quick battery swap. I mean, we already have battery cases. Is it that crazy that we have a battery?
Like Devin said, you carry a couple of the extra batteries that slip in, and you just put one in. Now,
I want the machine though.
I know Jermaine's a big Apple guy, so I didn't want to offend him.
Well, and honestly, just like Michael was saying in the chat, it's $450 for this actual toaster, $120 for the case. You could literally just buy and have a second phone.
You're missing the point. If you're an Apple user, you're spending this kind of money anyway, so who cares?
No,
it's
there's no
for
Apple logo on it, so they cannot do it. There's no Apple logo on it.
Yeah, that's right.
People won't buy the money for. Yeah, if there was,
I guarantee
everyone will buy it.
I guarantee they're not going to sell that at the Apple store.
They can just charge it on their Apple card and it'll be fine.
Yeah, well, Apple is going to come out with their own just like this that only includes 2 extra batteries instead of 5. They're going to charge double the price for it, and then
the EU will sue them, so it has to be more.
Yes, exactly. Now let's go over to a wonderful gadget. Now, this one definitely caught my eye because I think it's a really cool idea. So this is Jason, you picked up on this one. So this is Lenovo's rollable laptop. It's a real product, not a prototype. $3,500, and I've already reached out to my Lenovo contact. I want to get my hands on this because I'm very curious.
I just bought 3 of those.
That's pretty good. Really. It's pretty good. So. Jason, I'll let you explain it. Like this was an idea, a concept that grabbed your attention.
Yeah, I mean it's a laptop that comes at a certain size, and like it shows right there with a click of a button. I don't know how tall it actually gets. So I mean, there's a couple things. It's nice to have the extra real estate, but do you want it long or wide?
Yeah.
So this one was longer. So I mean, I have the OnePlus Pad 2, and it's kind of got that aspect ratio where it's a little bit taller than it's wider, kind of maybe not like 4:3, I think they call it.
Yeah,
I think it's a great concept because if you're a content creator or just need more real estate, you hit a button and it expands out. But here's the downside.
Yeah.
What is the I don't know. We know folding phones.
The durability?
Very long. Yeah. I mean, rolling is a little different. So what's the durability on one of these?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so just from an innovation hardware perspective, fuck, that's cool. Yeah. Like, let's just take a moment to appreciate that we have a laptop that screen can grow in size, right? Like, we have to appreciate that for what it is. But again, I agree with you there, Jason. Like, it is a crazy thought to think that we're going to have a laptop that does this. And I'll just show you the kind of image here. Like, it extends up. Like to give you a more, I guess.
I know, but you bump it, you drop it. I mean,
I know.
You got to have there's a lot of things you don't really think about. And for $3,500, I'm not taking this damn thing outside.
And honestly,
3, right?
What was that?
Hardware.
That's why you bought 3.
Right, exactly. Right, that's how I am. Exactly.
He puts it into this little toaster machine he made. He grabs a new one out. It's like a brand new one.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the other side of this, like hardware aside, can you imagine the software that's going to have to go with this to make it work? Like Windows does not like changing resolutions.
No.
Like,
right.
This is.
I mean, maybe they've thought of that. Like maybe there is.
I think in the article they said they work closely with Microsoft on this. I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which they have to.
I mean, again, like you're seeing something extend in front of your own eyes. Like it's such a crazy, like this picture here is just like, I'm looking at this picture going like, it looks amazing, but it's also creating a square aspect ratio because it goes from essentially rectangular to, or maybe like a longer rectangle, closer, a little bit square-ish. I mean, I like the idea. Is it way too expensive? Absolutely.
Should they call this a TikTok laptop?
I don't know what. Yeah, I'm afraid. Oh God, I hope it's not the
TikTok's
TikTok
supposedly
laptop.
be banned.
It's going away. Goodbye.
Yes. So just looking at so they're saying here that it's been tested thoroughly for at least 30,000 closings and openings of the lid hinge and 20,000 rolls up and down.
So are we going to see those videos where like they're in a factory and the robots are like, pushing the button,
pushing the
screens
button,
going up and down, and like they do with Samsung and stuff? Can't imagine they wouldn't.
I mean, it looks like an accordion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool. It looks well
does.
made. Like, I mean, it has USB-C ports. That's cool. But
that's cool.
I don't know. Well, I mean, because when it's so thin, when it's so thin, you fear like, oh shit, they're gonna fuck this up, right?
You're gonna need dongles for a lot of things, but the fact that it has multiple USB-Cs is definitely a nice thing. And Lenovo does, to their credit, they make some pretty good products. I mean, they make good laptops. They make good stuff. So.
Yeah, well, Michael wants to know if it's Microsoft that's become micro hard. That's a fair
can we
point.
just move on? We don't get any further with this.
Fair
We
point.
talk about things getting bigger, now things getting hard. I just want to move on.
Actually, just really quickly before we move on, I'm actually curious, how shit is the battery going to be on a fucking extendable screen?
You'd be surprised.
Like,
what chip is it running? If it's a new Intel AMD, they may actually have decent battery life. But again,
does it say? It does. It's an Intel Core Ultra 7 Series 2.
No, I don't have shit. No.
Yeah, that's shit battery. Yeah.
No, think about it though. If it was running a Snapdragon, it might get pretty decent battery life. But these,
but it's got to have some kind of motor or something that makes that go up and down, right? That it's got a power. So what happens there?
Yeah, if that fails.
Or like how much power is that using where it's like going up and down, up and down?
If your battery dies, do you have to like manually just
push it down?
I mean, that's all good. Those are all good questions, though. Honestly.
Yeah.
You know what situation I see myself in if I ever got one of these? The battery dies with the screen up, and I have to put it in my laptop bag, and the fucking thing won't fit. Right? Because I'm like, what do you do? Like, how does this?
Hopefully, that would be part of its like shutdown routine. Like, all right, the battery's dying. It's gonna goes and shuts down. You would hope.
We're not engineers. I'm sure the engineers have figured that part out. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, they don't mention anywhere in this article battery. Nowhere do I see a battery.
Of course.
No, I don't see it anywhere. There's nothing in there. So I skimmed through, was trying to find it, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing there that I can see. But I mean, this is not the first time we've seen a rollable thing announced at CES. Like, very rarely do they actually come to fruition. But the fact that one's coming, like, cool.
It doesn't surprise me it's coming from Lenovo, because then they have the all-screen tablet or
the laptop,
the keyboard that you stick on top.
Which, for the record, was amazing. But I had to send that one back, unfortunately. But
I think is such a better a form
application
factor, anyways. Again, like I get exactly what you were saying, Darren, about like the innovation aspect. I'm glad that somebody's doing it, and I will support them all the way. I don't think that's the thing that I'm going to buy. I don't think I would like it. It doesn't make sense when you have something like that dual screen one that you can take the keyboard on and off.
Right.
Over.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, that makes just a million times more sense.
But remember, this is CES. They're pushing boundaries of what things can be done. So this might just lead to other things that Lenovo's work and other companies will work on eventually. So.
Well, flipping over to the weird again for a second.
I'm still haven't seen what I thought you were going to show. So
we're getting there. So
on this one.
So Jason,
no, don't say my name. Leave my name out of this stuff. The weird stuff I had nothing to do with.
He said, I'm taking out another loan on my home, another mortgage, and I'm going to be buying something. And I said, what are you buying? And he said, I want to buy the Aria robot. Now, can we just take a moment to appreciate the face, the photo,
mortgage on my house. What are you talking about?
I know the photo for this article here made me laugh because it's the most sultry looking photo they could get of this robot.
I'm sorry, it looks fake.
So scary.
So we've talked a lot about AI and robots on this channel. You know that we're all thinking that we're doomed and that Terminator is a real thing. But in this situation, here is a actually purchasable robot. Like, this is a real thing. 175K. 175.
And Darren's going to reach out to his contact there. He's going to get a couple.
Well, listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
He's going to have one on each shoulder, one next to him.
If I'm buying a robot like this, I'm not buying it for her AI conversation skills.
What would you buy it for?
175.
I'm very naive. I don't know what you're talking about.
back massages.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But so anyway, here is Aria. This robot kind of caught a lot of people's attention because it's a little bit weird and a little bit kind of
Did you read that? 17 motors controlling her facial expressions. That's crazy.
17 motors. Now, apparently, what the real highlight of this Aria robot is that when they speak to this robot, it actually doesn't sound robotic. It actually sounds like a human being responding. Now, because this is meant to be, I guess a simple way to describe this would be a robot that can actually converse. Now, I don't know if I can play this. Let me see if I can. This was, let me pull up a video. Hang on. Just take over for a second there, Jason.
You leave me on this and tell me to take over. Really?
Yes, take over.
So again, with AI
Speak
robots,
from the heart, Jason.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Okay, I got it.
How you really feel.
Okay. So.
Hola, mi amiga. Le voy a poner. Hola, mi amiga. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien?
But look how creepy that is.
God, that is creepy.
Why would you want that?
Como si fuera un ser humano real. Es realmente perturbador.
So she's multilingual.
Okay, so can we just pause for a second? I'm gonna see if I can get a good shot here.
Why is he touching her?
I would swear on my life, if I'd walked past that was a person.
It did look more real there.
It's really, really weird that we're seeing.
You're strangely really into this. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like, I find it weird. Like, so robotics is weird to me because I feel like we're
right.
Well, I feel like we're pushing into an area we shouldn't be pushing into.
Sam.
I know. I saw Sam's comment there. I'm going to try and find you a video of it talking because I want to hear it speak. And here we go.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to.
Yeah, you do.
Just search your history.
Roddy, come on.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Looks like a robotic version of IGST.
Oh, here we go.
No.
So this is our flagship humanoid AI-powered robot.
That looks fake, right?
She's highly realistic. She has her own social media, so she might be competing with you one day. What makes her really special is that you can talk to her and ask questions. So maybe we can have her introduce herself and say something.
Hello. I'm Aria, the flagship female companion robot of Realbotics.
What's the purpose of this?
Some of our peers in the robotic space make robots to replace human labor. We think that's a great area, but we think there's a much bigger area in having social robots. So for example, at a convention like this, we can draw a crowd very easily. Aria's been a little bit of a rock star here, with people taking pictures and coming over.
So
she can promote your brand.
Because it's so weird, not because people want to buy it.
See her? Look at her. She doesn't have a forehead. She has a five head.
Amongst adolescents and seniors on loneliness. So she can be programmed to know you and learn more about you. So she can make that bond with you that feels like a genuine human connection.
You know what? Can I just pause this? Let me just pause you for a second.
Genuine human connection.
That's
a stretch.
When I walk down the street, I always say, "Hey guys, it's Jason. How are you?"
Now, can I just point out an obvious flaw with Aria the robot? If I'm buying a robot, I want a robot that looks friendly and smiles. This one looks like she has permanent bitch face on.
RBF.
Do I really want that? Do I really want that around the home? Do I really want that in my house? She looks unimpressed with me already. So I already get enough of that.
Definitely with the dude on the right.
Yes.
Well, Darren, since you're beta testing this, you can help him with the feedback, okay?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, okay, another side note here, and I just want to point this out. Did they have to make this robot so chesty? Can we just point that out right now?
Right? You know.
Can I rephrase your question? Did they have to make this robot?
Yeah, well, there's that.
Out of proportion. I'm more
Just
worried
look-
about her head.
You will have your answer why they did it at the end. Just look at their face because I've seen this clip. Look at their faces when they are talking about being a partner or relationship.
Oh yeah,
look at their face.
Action.
That's your answer.
We don't have the ability to clean the house. They don't do physical labor.
Oh, they don't do labor?
To converse with you. It's companionship.
What was the movie on Netflix with Megan Fox?
See his face.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean, that's your answer why they did it.
Do you know what movie I'm talking about on Netflix with Megan Fox? Subservience or something?
Subservience, yeah.
That's what Darren wants. He wants a robot like that.
I mean, I think we all want a robot like that. I don't know if you've seen that movie. Go and watch that movie and tell me you don't want that robot. But I mean,
she takes care of the kids and cleans the house. That's what. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so and we talked about this previously on another show. Why do they have to make robots have faces that look like humans? Like,
it's
I feel
so
like
hard to do too. It looks. You can tell they're not real.
I know, but
it's providing real human companionship.
Yeah, but do we need to have it? Do we need to blur that line? Like, I want my robot to have a robot face. I know that sounds crazy, but think about it for a second. Like, you've got to have a discrepancy between human and humanoid. And I reckon they should just not have faces. Yeah,
no, but to be fair, look, realistically, what will they sell this robot for?
Oh, 175,000 is what they want.
No, that's not what I mean. What will they sell this for?
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah.
And that's why it looks like a human.
Yeah.
I like
that's why it looks like a human.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why people might gravitate towards this. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense. But again, why does it look so hot? Why is it so chesty? And why can't it do any housework?
So Jermaine,
I mean, I just three
Darren's
questions.
not telling you is he's got one of those little robot vacuums, and he puts a mannequin head on it, and he puts hair on it, so it dries.
This is true.
I've seen a robot that's more useful than that thing. A robot
that's
vacuum.
true.
I've got it right here.
On it where it picks stuff up.
Now, keeping with the robotic theme, this is one that Jason sent me. He purchased. This is Melody.
No.
Hello, Melody. So Jason likes brunettes, apparently.
She's a redhead. That's not a brunette.
Oh, okay, redhead brunette. Let's
Come
just
on.
say kind of there. This one's kind of creepy because it goes through the process of making her.
But again, like you said, it's a human face. It doesn't look real.
No. Yeah.
No.
Oh my God.
Yes, sleeping eye. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the
yeah, it's so weird, right? Like,
it looks like Thunderbirds. What the Thunderbirds? You know that show?
Yeah,
it kind of looks like that, but then just a little bit better.
Yeah, I want the old man face. That's what I want. I want a friend.
That's what I want right there.
I want a companion. Oh, look, you can just flip out the look. Oh, that's amazing. I feel like we're watching what's that? Face Off with Travolta and Nicolas Cage. See, I mean, the amount of detail. I know, but that's about as lifelike as I think we've seen on this channel. Like, we've done a lot of coverage of robotics on this show, but I mean, Melody is different. She looks more fluid, I want to say, with her movements.
She just went like this, and I'm okay.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Look, what we learn now is that
yeah,
they're getting more realistic. They're getting better. These are just concepts. I don't think anybody's plunking down 170. I shouldn't say nobody. Most
okay, hang on. Stop, pause for a second. Hang on a second.
Source.
It's open source and it has open AI and Chat GPT. Okay, that would just fucking tempting fate at this point.
Imagine if that chat history gets,
leaked
somewhere.
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah. Hello, Darren. Your wife is home. Let me replay all of your tabs. Right? Yeah.
She's like,
let me give her a recap of everything that's happened while she was gone.
Yes.
Yeah, she comes in. Give me a recap of what Darren's done all day. Well,
and can you please run me a bath? I need you to clean me. Anyway, so I mean, the robotic stuff. Roddy, what were you going to say? Sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to say, what are those Teslas? What are those robots going for? How much are those?
So on average, like between 175 and like 250 is the average like going rate for a AI powered regular robot.
Like, doesn't Kim Kardashian, doesn't she have like 5 of them? Wasn't she like, didn't there like a video of like them following her around at the mall or something like
Tesla
that?
robots?
No, that's fake.
Yeah.
That's fake.
Oh, that's fake.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Tesla robots are supposed to be like 20,000 when they come out, but they look like robots. And what we saw at that we robot or whatever was basically people controlling them and talking through them, and they wasn't really.
Yeah, but
doing
they were great. They were still great, like the motion and I mean, they were able to pour the drinks and all that kind of stuff. Which
they can't.
Yeah,
do
but
this
they
and
kept
have a
shutting
face.
down everything as well, so there were a lot of issues that you didn't see.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the bigger like question and discussion here, though, really is we keep talking about them getting better, and they're getting better, but they're still terrible, right? They still don't look human. They're still all choppy. Is there like a line for everybody here of like, okay, now we can't tell a difference, right?
Yeah. Oh, there will be. Oh, it's gonna happen,
right?
Yeah.
Is that the moment that this whole conversation changes and we're like, all right, that's worth it now, right?
Yep.
Like, or it's like,
Yeah.
does it make it any better if they look more realistic?
No.
You know what I feel like this is? Remember when people started buying foldables when they first came out? And we're like, I'm not going to buy one until Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4. And then eventually we were like, fuck it. They're good now. Let's just go for it. You're right. I honestly
Robots
feel
on
like...
the phone?
No, we're talking about phones as an analogy, right? Like,
because you said fuck it. I was like,
oh, sorry, right, sorry. Yes.
Just making sure here.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that with a phone typically, but we're talking about Darren here. I don't know.
I know. I mean, it could
that vibration motor on the S, the
haptic feedback is killer. Let me tell you.
That's the first, when I'm doing a review, that's the first thing I test, the vibration motor. I thought that was
we don't want to
all
know
of us.
how you test. That's all in your lab. We don't want to know what you do in your lab.
It's true. The lab's crazy. Okay, let's flip over to the weirdly wonderful. So I should set this to Jason early in the week about a router.
Oh, yeah.
With 9.9 miles of Wi-Fi coverage. 9.9 miles. That is not a misprint. So CES, they had this on display. Now, this, I know the text is a bit small here, so I can make it bigger for you. But so this is the Wi-Fi Halo created by Morse Micro. And basically what they're trying to do...
Is this the same company we looked at before when they were in the desert?
I believe it may have been, but that was a prototype, not a commercial product. Now, basically, they're saying here that they're trying to, this Halo router, which I love the name for the record, they're trying to make essentially this internet connectivity over massive distances, like AM and FM radio, which is a super weird analogy. So they're basically saying here that it can exist on both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi bands. And the maximum speed, okay, so this is where it kind of got maximum speed is not bad for 9 miles. 32.5 megabytes down for 9 miles of connectivity. That's pretty good.
Why do we need this again?
I don't know. I mean, if you have to control your sex robot from afar, like, warm up, or something like that, like get yourself ready.
Yeah, but again, does this go back to, is it 9 miles of range in a field? Or like I live in a neighborhood with a bunch of houses. I can't imagine it's gonna be 9 miles.
Yeah. Now, apparently you can't just plug this into your home, which is a super weird thing because they're saying here that they're not equipped to read certain band frequencies that Morse Micro is using. But Morse Micro is basically saying that they're trying to influence these tech companies to adapt their hardware into their routers so that they can make it compatible and make the distance with these. So this would be kind of like a range extender. That's kind of what they're hoping to make this by getting these router companies to embed this, whatever frequencies they're using into their routers so it can connect with the Morse Micro Halo, which is super weird and kind of cool. But they exist here, right? Like they've got these commercial setups in Amazon warehouses. They are actually currently being used in certain places where connectivity is necessary. So we could see this potentially changing Wi-Fi. Jermaine, I know you always love to have strong Wi-Fi connectivity. So are you just going to drive 9 miles away from your house to test this out?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, when I'm on vacation or something like that, I'm going to test it out without a doubt. It's very useful, this. And I can imagine if you have a house with a really, really, really big garden, this makes perfect sense for anyone.
Absolutely.
Everyone should get this, honestly. It makes perfect sense.
What about you, Roddy? 9.9 miles. I don't know if he was being sarcastic.
That's the driest sarcasm. I love it. I love it so much.
I could see, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I would see it as, is like more of a commercial use if you've got like a farm or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Or Roddy, maybe a company with a lot of square footage you need to get.
Yeah, exactly. If you got a lot of square footage, not me, but yeah, but there's a few years ago I was working really closely. We were doing some video stuff for like community development, city development, things like that. And that was one of the things, was like some of these areas that are a lot of foot traffic or a lot of people from out of town that are here for vacation and stuff like that. They want to like blanket these areas because they're like
Yeah.
public. They're like public areas. You get a lot of people there. You've seen it. Your signals all get real congested, and you can't ever use them. Like if you're at a concert or whatever. And they were
Yeah.
talking about this was like a concept idea. They were trying to figure out how to blanket it, and they didn't have anything like this. They were having to use like all these little mesh systems and all these different things, and it still didn't work very good. So I could see it in scenarios like that. But yeah, for home, I'm no.
Yeah.
And then how many people are actually going to adopt this? You know,
People who have
before
very big gardens.
yeah,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, in my I would just buy it for someone who has a small home like myself, like just so I got fucking Wi-Fi everywhere.
Well,
I
the
want to be able to
problem
get Wi-Fi at the fucking local store down the road.
The only downside to this
imagine?
is that people can hack Wi-Fi, and it
Yeah.
goes around your house, a couple feet out. Could you imagine if your Wi-Fi SSID is 8 miles down the road, and someone decides, "Hey, I'm going to hack it"? It's going to be a lot harder to find out who that person is.
It's even worse if you have a robot that you use for different purposes.
Yeah.
It just makes
Exactly.
it worse. Imagine if they can download the chat history of that one.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
true.
that's true. That's a slight issue.
It's
Now, can we flip over to what might be Devin's wet dream here? So, Devin,
Whoa. How does he know that, Devin?
I'm gonna assume
His robot told him.
I'm gonna assume Devin heard about this. Yeah, my robot told me
yes.
that's correct.
I
So-
was waiting, honestly, for you to say, what's your favorite thing that came out of CES?
Oh,
And
okay. So
this
I'm assuming this is
actually
it.
This is one of my favorites.
might
yeah.
be one of them. Yeah.
All right, so
This is
Devin,
really
I'll let you explain it. You probably have seen this. So, what are we looking at here? Why is this not just your wet dream, but maybe every computer designer / builder's wet dream?
I mean, to be fair, it's basically like an ultra powerful computer. They're just using that blanket,
Yeah.
keyword, the
The
special
flexing.
word,
Yeah.
AI supercomputer. It's just a really powerful computer specifically designed for these types of tasks. But they made it in the size of like a Raspberry Pi.
Oh,
And
wow.
the other thing that he was like alluding to was that you could like stack them. So if you need more power,
wow.
you
Yeah.
could buy like 10 of them, stack them on top of each other. And for the same size as like a regular desktop computer, you've got 10 supercomputers now or whatever, right?
Wow,
But I think
that's-
this is just, it's really cool because so all this AI stuff takes a lot of like processing power, and GPUs are usually where you do it. And the best place to do it the fastest is where you have like lots of GPUs, right? So the
Yeah.
easiest place to do that was in somebody else's cloud, somebody else's data center, where
Yeah.
you've got access to be able to use their hundreds of GPUs sitting next to each other. All of a sudden, they're giving you this tiny little computer that has enough power to theoretically run your, AI stuff at home or at the office or whatever. That it's a really
That's-
cool little device.
Me
Now,
and
why
Darren
would-
bought 15 of them, and
This
it's
is
going to
true.
run tech disruptors here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna let AI do it. Basically, let it
Right.
run off those supercomputers. I
We're going
mean,
to replace Darren with one of those female robots.
yes. Well, that's exactly right. I mean, just me
But with
waving
Darren-
the entire
with-
time.
It's Darren.
But keep Darren's voice, right? Female, but
Of
Darren's
course,
voice.
yeah.
Oh, it'll be AI generated and cloned, but
Scarlett Johansson's voice. Oh wait,
oh.
she sued for that. I
Well,
forgot.
I don't know
good
if you
thing is you
remember.
can do the expressionless look that Mr. Beast does as well when he smiles and his eyes are just not doing anything.
They're dead.
Right
Yeah,
thumb
not dead
there.
on the inside. Yeah. Jason and I actually almost bought a supercomputer last year. Do you remember, Jason?
Yeah, we bid, but we were a little low.
Little low. They were selling a supercomputer on like a eBay style situation, and it was 15 grand. I think it went for in the end.
I can't remember. We were like just
Okay.
under the. Yeah, we were just
Just
under.
under.
the thing,
Just
yeah.
under. I don't know what we would have done
I
with
do
it.
I feel like
personally.
that's sarcasm.
No.
No,
We
no.
legitimately were
Oh,
like,
okay.
we had this. We were checking in on it.
We pulled the auction up and everything.
I was
Yeah.
like, you posted for $1. I was like, yeah, we
Yeah.
just missed it.
Because the reason I brought it up last year is because it's the starting rate thing was like dirt cheap. It was like $5,000, and this
And
is
it
like one of
cost
these.
like millions to build. Like
Yeah.
millions to build.
Yeah, and then it ended up going for about 15 or 20 grand, I think, off the top of my head.
I
And,
want to see a university bought it or something to use. For
yeah, it was
something.
one of
I
those
can't
like
remember.
the power bank styles, like you need to have an entire room to put it in. But I mean, there's a reason why our podcast all of a sudden got so good. So
Right.
we just
we were
outsourced
going to
to
help.
them.
We were going to help the American youth in college better themselves, but we're like, nah, I think it'd be better
Yeah.
served with us instead of the youth of America.
Well,
I mean,
we just run all of their necessary websites through that supercomputer now, ones that students would need to frequent. Okay, so let's end on a high note, if you will. We'll go one more weird choice here.
we're
Or do
gonna
you want to
end
end
on a weird one. Is that what you said?
Or do you want to end on a wonderful? Well, we
No,
went
we
for a
could-
wonderful. Let's end with a
Weird.
weird, I reckon.
We could do weird. That's fine.
All right, so let's. There were a lot of really weird ones, and I'm just going to give a couple of honorable mentions here, right? So there was the Plantiform Fogponics, which was the most ridiculous name ever, which was essentially you could grow your own vegetables in your house using the power of fog. Interesting, but I'm not going to do that.
Didn't iJustine do like a video on that as well? So you had like a
Yes.
whole system for that, right?
Yes, she did. Yeah.
That was years ago.
This is their second generation, I think it was.
Oh,
but I
second
think
gen. Okay.
I think
I'll
one of
wait
the
till the
weirder
third.
ones. Oh, sorry.
Fourth.
One of the weirdest products that almost every tech publication covered was a fucking fluffy toy. And I'm going to pull it up now because I don't understand why this
Kirby?
got so much attention.
Well, look at it. Why
I
do you
know,
think it got so
looks
much
fucking
attention?
Terrifying. So, okay, so let's talk about...
Hold on. It says this thing is staring you down until you feel joy. That thing is ugly. That would not give me joy.
It looks like it looks like a gremlin. It looks like it's going to jump out of your purse and slice your throat.
So if it gets
and
wet,
watch you
does
die.
it turn into a gremlin? I mean, that's
I don't know. Okay, so this is Yukai Engineering's Mirumi, and the premise of this crazy little beast is that it is kind of meant to be kind of like a bit of an emotional support, fluffy doll, if you will.
So it's just like the AI friend that Devin has.
So it's just like the other ones. It's supposed to be a sex bot.
Basically, yeah, but way
I don't know
way more
about
comfortable.
that. That's kind of weird.
Okay, I'm sorry to say it, but if you need something like that for emotional support, there's something.
Yes,
else.
Go to counseling. BetterHelp. Go to BetterHelp. We're not sponsored, but go to BetterHelp.
Can we just look, like, I don't know if you're paying attention to the expressions here. Yeah, I'm going to pause for a second, but if you look at this expression right here, it looks like it's about to jump from that guy's wrist and just attack you. Like, I understand that it's meant to be like you have to engage with it in order for it to be friendly. I understand it. But why is its default setting like evil mode? Like, I feel like someone flicked the switch. You know, like, you remember that Simpsons episode where it was a Halloween special where they buy the doll and it has an evil and a good switch on the back? So
Yes.
anyway, this crazy Mirumi fluff ball, everyone covered this. Every single publication.
Well, here's what I
covered
will
this.
say. Everyone who's listening later on podcast or watching currently, oh my God. Here's what you need to remember. What we're showing and talking about is just a snippet of what was.
Oh, absolutely,
So,
yeah.
If you listen to this, you're probably going to think that the future is going to exist of sex bots, robots, long-term
Fluffy
Wi-Fi,
toys.
and more sex bots. But that's not
Isn't it?
really the case.
I mean, and
There's some-
supercomputers.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
right.
Are you sure about this statement?
There's some advancements in smart home products, computing,
Lots of
HDMI
TVs.
2.2. I'm just throwing some things out here so we don't think everyone thinks we're talking about sex bots 24/7.
Like, honestly, this photo, I feel like this should be our thumbnail next week. Jason, can we please make this the thumbnail for next week? Like, okay, can I just ask you, when you look at this fluffy thing on the screen right now, what's the expression you see? I'll start with Devin. What's the expression you see here?
It looks like terror. It looks like it's mimicking my face when I'm looking at it.
Jason, what's the expression you see?
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, shit, it saw me. Roddy?
Don't get it wet and don't feed it after midnight.
Fair. Jermaine?
We're talking about the
It,
robot,
it
right?
looks like it's trying to hold on for dear life and it's about to fall from a high cliff.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. You are this company, Yukai Technology. You're making this fluffy support animal. Why put these expressions
Hold on,
into
back
the
up.
coding?
If I'm this company, I'm filing for bankruptcy, is what I'm doing.
Well, they're starting a crowdfunding, which
Sorry.
already
I'm
tells
sorry.
you that
That's
they're
me.
probably not going to come out. But $70.
You know
Can
what?
you see how the crowdfunding is doing?
Say that again, sorry?
Can you see how the crowdfunding is doing?
No, I don't think they've launched it yet. It comes out a little later this year, I believe.
I was just curious because you never know with.
Yeah.
We'll
Basically,
reach out to him. We'll get some mascots for the show. Okay.
This is for people that can't have real pets, right?
Pets,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't have a cat or a dog or whatever. They're not responsible, or they're they just can't have one. They've got allergies, whatever. But my thing is, why not just make it look like a cat or a dog or something normal? Like this doesn't look normal. It literally looks like a gremlin. I mean, it looks like that's what it looks like.
Can I just point out?
Exactly.
I'm on their website right now.
I've seen that one.
Oh, that's the pillow. Yeah.
A lot of their products are designed for like teaching you how to live with robotic products. So they have a whole product line here. So they have the Cubo, which is a tailed cushion that heals your heart. I don't know what that means.
It does.
There's Bocco, which is a communication robot that connects with family. Get Play Bitten, and I'm not even joking. I want you to see this one. This is a robot that will quite literally bite your finger or whatever else you put there. Which I find I don't know, toes,
carrots.
I thought we were done with that subject.
No,
of course,
but
Darren knows
mean,
about this website.
look how weird this is. Look how weird this fucking thing is. Like,
why are all those links purple, Darren? What?
Oh, so shit. Yeah, I know, but if you look, so they have a whole range of products.
They're working on the opposite end of AI. They're trying to do something different, I guess. I mean,
I get it. It's kind of cool.
Go to the headset. We all got to get.
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah.
We all have to get some of those now.
I feel like this is a tech disruptor's necessity, is what I'm saying here. But
honestly, if you kind of want that fun toy that is like a companion, I see a lot of videos of it. Is that Enki Cosmo robot thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That one at least seems fun. You know, it isn't trying to be an animal. It's
not trying to bite your finger off or
or something else.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a fun in between toy or something.
But let me reiterate, here at Tech Disruptors, we're not trying to say the future is all sex robots and creepy toys. There's a lot of things coming in the future. The AI is just advancing faster than we can develop physical products for it. I mean, we went from Humane AI to Depend Humane and Rabbit R1 to girls that are robots.
Massive. I mean, listen, the future is now. I unfortunately will be probably purchasing all of these at some point.
I will be hosting next week because Darren will be busy with a bunch of robots.
Well, can I just tell you a funny story that happened to me this week? So for the first time ever in my life, I lost my wallet. Don't know what happened. I put it in a pocket. It fell out somewhere, was gone forever. So I had to cancel my cards and get them resent out. But I had to get my license and my healthcare card renewed. So I had to go to like a service center, like an area where people get licenses and stuff done. And it was very, very busy. But here in Canada, you have to pay to renew your license. Even if you lose it, you have to pay like $35 to get a new license.
Same here.
So I waded through 80 people in front of me. I got to number 76 and I went, fuck, I don't have a credit card or a bank card to pay for this. So I went up to the desk. I got called up eventually. And I looked at the lady and I was like, she's like, what do you need? I'm like, I need my license. I need my health card. She's like, that's going to be $35. And I just looked at her and went, look, I don't have any money. I don't have a wallet. All my bank cards were canceled. I couldn't use my phone, my wallet, because all of the cards had been switched off. And I'm standing there in front of this lady.
He really thought this through.
So I didn't think this through at all. And like I was so thinking about the line being long. So I looked at this lady and I went, look, is there any way you can just let me off the hook? And at first she was like, just this guy, fucking guy. Yeah, sure, mate. I'll let you off the hook, whatever. I started being nice to her. I started being very friendly.
So you weren't nice at first?
Personable. No, yeah. I was at first. I always was. But I started being a little nicer. Okay. And, you know, it was late in the afternoon. She'd been in there all day. She'd probably seen like 1,000 people in a day. And I want to give a shout out to this lady who was very nice to me. She let me off the hook and she said, you know what? we'll just send you the bill. You don't have to pay right now,
Oh,
but
that's cool.
we will issue you your license so that you can actually drive and not get pulled over and, for not having a license. So, the lesson, the moral here is that all of these products at CES, there are some interesting and wonderful things. Yes, some of them look like sex robots. Yes, some of them look like fluffy things that maybe you might find in a house for someone that likes that kind of thing. But they are weird, they are wonderful, but they always have a home. There's something for everybody out there. So be nice to the people who buy these crazy products because they may need it, right? They may need it.
Why are you trying to force that upon us?
No, I'm not trying to force you upon it.
I mean, are you planning to buy something so we don't judge you, or
no? I mean, look, don't judge me for my purchases.
He's just saying everybody needs some of these products, and if he can borrow your credit card number really quick,
exactly. I don't have mine. So I'll take donations.
We started a GoFundMe for Darren. He needs a sex robot. He lost his card, so we're doing a GoFundMe for.
And then he will lose it again because even that woman, sex robot, will take the wallet away.
I mean, it could be worse. I could be asking for money for a Vision Pro and then I just return it. But we won't go into that. We will do that now. But I don't know how.
Talk about that before.
Right.
All right, that's the end of the podcast.
Anyway, on that note, I want to give a big shout out to Jermaine, Roddy, Devin, Jason. Thank you very much for joining us in our very first edition of the Texas Brothers Podcast for 2025. We will be back. We are back every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods. Anywhere you find great tech podcasts, you will find us. Final thoughts on CES. Devin, in one word, how would you describe this year's CES?
Fine.
Fine. Ooh, kind of good and bad. All right.
Was fine.
It was fine. Okay. Jason, one word to describe this year's CES.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. All right. Roddy.
Diverse.
Jermaine.
Sex robots.
And on that note, I was glad that someone brought it up. It's going to be me otherwise. On that note, we will be back next week. Thank you very much for joining us.